Honorable jury, teachers and my fellow scholars, greetings from our team, Digital Banking Frauds, a case study in Telangana from Department of Commerce, Government Degree College, Hayatnagar. I am Asra and this is my team Malika, Tejasri, Indrani and Venkatesh, and our supervisor is Mrs. Sunita ma'am, our accounts teacher. At the outset, we thank the Commissioner of Collegiate Education, Mr. Naveen Mittal, for giving this opportunity to us. I'm here to introduce about the topic digital banking frauds. There are many number of people using digital modes of payment in the recent scenario. This gained further momentum in the period of COVID-19 induced lockdowns. While enhancing the customer convenience, it also furthered the national objective of financial inclusion. There has been number of cases increasing in the growth of financial frauds. And this booklet is intended to create awareness among the public about the frauds and types of frauds, and also about the precautions to be taken while performing your financial transactions, like beware of unknown calls, mails, messages. Hence, be aware and beware. The next part will be continued by my partner Tejasri.
Thank you, Asna. Now let's go through with the research problem. Digital India is future of the country towards present generation moving rapidly. The technology plays special knowledge for driving digital in different sectors. For the proper uses of digital economy is very inevitable from safety and transparency point of view. The loopholes in technology and poor knowledge public giving scope to some hackers and fraudulent people to cheat the public and earn money in illegal ways. These frauds are growing very fast. Along this growth in digital banking, the regulatory bodies, various sectors giving instructions and cautions the public against these types of frauds. However, still these frauds are not come up to the control. This issue is addressed in the present study. Now next will be continued significance of the study. The digital frauds rate is highly significant in banking sector, which causes the loss of money by the public and hamper the public confidence on the digital banking and entire banking sector. However, still banking sector will be failed in the recovery of money and detecting and preventing the accounts of frauds. There is inadequate research studies focused on the frauds. There is exposed by the public pushing factors towards becoming of victims of banking frauds, examining the impact of banking online frauds on victims' economic status and reactivation of rate of digital banking, the experience of frauds. Next will be continued my friend Malika.
Thank you, Teja. Now I will continue with the objectives of this study to examine the impact of digital banking frauds on the economic status of victims in Telangana, to study nature and types of digital banking frauds exposed by the public, to find out the reactivation rate of digital banking frauds by the victims in Telangana, to measure the satisfaction level of victims in response by the banks against complaints, to elicit the suggestions from the victims and reducing the frauds of digital banking frauds. Let us continue the research methodology. Present study is based on both primary and secondary data. The primary data is collected from the targeted victims of digital banking frauds through the snowball sampling technique. Snowball sampling method is a technique to identify the sampling population with the help of one and each other. This is a non-probability technique and named as chain referral method. The data is collected in the month of November 2022 from the targeted victims in Telangana. In the process of data collection, have sent questionnaire in the Google format to 150 members. Out of 150 members, complete responses are received from the 144 members, but inadequate responses from 2 members and 4 are incomplete responses. Thus, present study sample size is 140. Let us continue with the statistical tools, then structured questionnaire and percentages. Limitations of the present study. Present study is confined to only 144 members in Telangana state only. The study is focused only in digital banking sector, ignored other sectors. The limited time is one of the constraints. The other part will be continued by my friend Venkatesh.
Thank you, Malika. Now we will know about findings of the case study. In the present study, the male participant rate is 80.3%, whereas female participant rate is 16.7%. Education background of these studies reveal that 41.7% of the victims have pursued their graduation, and 16.7% of the victims pursued their post-graduation, and 3.3% of the victims completed their intermediate, and 8.3% have completed their other education qualifications such as vocational. The regional-wise participants reveal that 50% of the victims are from urban areas, and 29.16% are from rural areas, and 20.84% are from metropolitan areas. The study found that more than 90% of the victims immediately blocked their cards after detecting fraud. Only 22.23% is confined only to change passwords, while 70% had given complaint to nearest branch and 43.75% have given complaint to cybercrime. These statements clearly states that approaching nearest branch, blocking cards are the strategies used by the victims. The study found that according to account blocked messages, KYC calls, update and asking OTP and CVV are top 3 methods of digital frauds exposed by majority of victims. The study found that regarding the compensation point of view, more than half of the victims did not respond to questions due to their unwillingness. However, 70.4% of victims expressed no compensation, 8.3% is partially compensated and 14.6% are fully compensated. The study also found that around 45% of the victims expressed significant impact to digital frauds on their economic states and caused short-term trouble in their life. The study found that even after experiencing digital banking frauds, more than 40% of the victims expressed positive opinions on digital banking due to the reason digital banking is a good method when it is properly used with some good knowledge. It is observed that in total victims, 54.2% is reactivated the digital banking services after frauds, which indicate that still majority of the respondents are expressing confidence towards digital banking. These responses got majority from victims with lower amount of less than 10,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatesh. Suggestions of the study: avoiding visiting unsecured, unsafe, unknown websites. Avoid using unknown browsers. Avoid using saving password on public devices. Keep the PIN, password and credit or debit card, CVV, etc. private and do not share the confidential financial information with the banks, financial institutions, friends or even family members. Turn on two-factor authentication where such facilities is available. Be wary of suspicious looking pop-ups that appear during the browsing sessions on internet. Always check for secure payment gateway before making online payment transaction. Conclusion: the study concludes that digital banking is significant revolution in banking sector that facilitates high convenience and speed to the customer and cost effective to the banking sector. However, digital banking is subject to high risk of personal information theft by the hackers. The present study revealed that poor customer awareness, sharing of credentials, frequent attempt by the frauds, unsecured technologies, wide using of UPI codes, low awareness campaigns or causes of online digital banking. The study suggests that banks and cybercrime department should be able in finding the bank account and take recovery